Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Once again, don't go away. We're going to have an exciting show. We're going to have two parts here. We're going to start, this is still Education Month, and we're bringing back our star. That's Dr. Mary Johnson, and she brought with her Mr. Zimmerman, and they got a charter school program on science and technology that's out of sight. Turn it over to you, Mary.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here, Mr. Brown, once again. To talk about several things, the math program and about the Washington Math, Science, Technology, Public Charter High School, a mouthful.
Where is that located?
It's located at Bladensburg Road and New York Avenue.
Okay.
Mr. Zimmerman here, we've known each other for many years, is assistant principal, and he and principals, staff, students, everybody have done an extraordinary job. They've done an extraordinary job in carrying out the mission of the school and producing great students in math, science, and technology. And I am blessed to have had the opportunity to teach students that graduated from the school in the university. I teach them in the university. I've had one student that I taught last semester who did a fantastic job. He was A in everything. He was an excellent student.
Is that one of the students you're going to bring aboard?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
he
wow.
is motivated. He's highly motivated. He's just a fantastic student in class, does everything he's supposed to do.
Good example.
Good. Oh, such a good example. Such a very good example of the kind of students. And he's not the first student. I've taught several students at the university from the school, from the charter school. And that's a real blessing for me to have lived to see this.
Right, to see all your hard work come to fruition.
Yes, and to see students who actually graduate from the school.
Yeah.
And work with them, teach them, talk to them.
Mr. Zimmerman, how do you give us your background. How did you get involved in such a dynamic project?
Well, first, my background is in science. I was a biology major in college, chemistry minor. Also,
what school? Give them a plug.
Benedict College.
Benedict,
Yeah,
okay, that's what we want.
HBCUs, yes.
Great.
I taught school for a number of years in Washington, and I've retired as a principal, for elementary school principal in Washington. And I was given the opportunity to go to Washington Math, Science, Public Charter High School because of my background and because of I thought it was a good fit, and they could use my knowledge and training at that level. Dr. Johnson is a little, I guess, she's not telling the whole story. She is the founder, as you may know, the founder.
Well,
she wrote the charter for WMST in 1998. And since that time, we have been able to accomplish some things that we're quite proud of at the school. We have a 95% and above graduation rate each year, 95 and above percent college attrition rate. Matriculation rate.
95%.
95% of our students go on to college.
Is that right?
That's correct. Yes,
congratulations.
Sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
We're also accredited by the Middle States Association for Colleges and Secondary Schools in Washington, D.C., one of the very few schools, high schools, that are accredited by the Middle States Association. So there are a number of things that we've been able to accomplish, but it's all due to Dr. Johnson and her charter that she was able to write and get approved by the District of Columbia Public Schools back in 1998. So we're quite grateful for her work and her contribution for the school.
Well, I'd just like to say that because of the work of the great administrative team after I left, and because of their continuation, their hard work, the principal, Dr. Diagne, and Mr. Floyd Gilmore, who was a top-notch administrator there before Dr. Diagne, all of these working together real hard and continuously have made the school beyond my greatest expectation when we first started out. We first started out, we had a small group of students graduating. All of our students graduated. It was smaller than the 300 or so that we had.
That's the question I was going to ask next.
It started out small, about 300 students. But in our we started as a high school because we were first on a charter school within the schools, so we had the makings and everything, the ingredients, the students who were already going into senior year. So we had to be up on it
Yeah.
because we didn't go grade by grade. We started high school, 9 through 12. So anyway, in so doing, we had students that were already in the program and ready to graduate the first year. So that put us at an advantage. And so all the students there did graduate. All of them did go to college. They had high SAT scores. It was wonderful. And they have continued the same type of progress and achievement with the students through the years, through 15 years, and embarking on the next 15 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
I pray, and I'm sure with the hard work and continued dedication of staff and students, they will do as well or better. They'll do
What
better.
about volunteers? You get involved with volunteers?
I'm sure
We
they
do have volunteers in our school in different areas, partnerships that we have forged with the community and also with government agencies, with Johns Hopkins University, a number of schools, and the University of District of Columbia. We have all of these programs that we have in our school to assist our students in developing themselves.
In other words, you get exposure from these various groups.
We do.
For the students,
We do,
which
yes.
is wonderful. That's, it's a hands-on type of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that really makes it. You're two educators here. Something broke the news the day before yesterday about grading, and they were talking about grading in Montgomery County, and they're going from the old A, B, C, D, E, F to a C, E, and a what? You have any comments on that?
It's a relatively new concept. I basically read some of it, but I think it's going to make it a little more difficult and more challenging for the students. That I think it's starting in the elementary level, and it will be a little more rigorous for students to make the A, B scores or grades, at that level. But this has been something that's been in works for a while, and we're going to see how it unfolds and see how it relates to what we're doing at
That's
our
what I
charter
know
school.
how it'll affect your
Yes.
system there.
We'll have to look at the research on it
Yes.
very carefully and see, how that's going, because
Not just the newspaper
just
article.
not just a newspaper article. We gotta look at the
Newspaper
research.
article can be a little biased sometimes.
Yes, it can.
According to who wrote
It
it.
can be.
Right.
But I'm sure that a number of educators see some merit in it, and they are moving forward to explore it and just see how it works.
Good, good.
Any
That's
way
what-
you evaluate can be good. You just have to be consistent, and you just have to really have a plan for your evaluation.
Right. That's what I like about Mary. She analyzes everything. She doesn't jump off and make a decision on something. She said, I have to check it out first.
Yes. Me too.
And see what motive is involved here.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
really works now.
Yes.
As far as the students are concerned now, how do you actually get the students into your program? How do they get into your program? Tell us about that.
Mr. Gibbons, you want to suggest? I think they use basically the same method that we've always
We
had.
do. We have an open enrollment policy. First come, first serve. Students actually just apply. We do accept them as they apply during the school year, prior to the opening of the school year. So we don't really have tests. We don't have requirements other than that they have an interest in science, math, and technology, and that they bring to us a C average. We give all students an opportunity to develop themselves and to look forward to going to college. We have a great counseling staff. We have a great administrative staff. I did want to mention Dr. Inde Diagne, who is our head of school, who has just carried us through the evaluation process so that we have 15 more years of our program as a charter school. So she's done an outstanding job.
Congratulations.
As leader. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
And we're now going through the Middle States assessment in November of next school year. So we're kind of busy at this point, but we're pushing ahead. But all of the students who apply do get the opportunity until we get full to come into our program and to develop themselves and to look forward to going to college.
Yes.
What is your contact with parents? Do you have any contact with them as far as the procedure that you're taking, maybe the homework that you give the youngsters? Are parents involved in exposure to your system?
Yes, we do have a power school system that's used by the school. Every parent has to sign in. They can check on a daily basis what assignments have been given to the students, where the students are academically, what grades they have, where they're deficient. All these things can be checked on the power school, on our power school system at WMST. In addition to that, the counselors are always available to speak with the parents, to do individualized checking on the students, and of course to set up counseling sessions with the parent if need be. So one of our aims and goals is to make sure that the parents are involved in every aspect of the students' work.
That's a very good approach there, getting the parent involved so they understand what the youngster has been exposed to.
Exactly.
Okay, Mary, so what's in the future there? I mean, what's your next step? When's your next book? And
we were going to talk a little bit about the book, but we
tell
can
us
talk
about the book.
Well, we
quickly.
got to.
You have 1 second.
I have 1 second. Okay, we did get to the third part of the component of the book. Effort. Effort times effort times effort times effort leads to success in math. And
how many efforts was that? 3?
That was 3, but you know what? I had effort times effort times effort, and my editor said, wait a minute, Dr. Johnson could just have effort times effort, so I stopped there. But it's very important because many students believe that either born knowing math, born with the ability to do it, or you don't know it. They look up and don't find the answer, they're through.
Right.
But we want them to know that there are some steps that you go through to develop this process of having effort times effort times effort.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mrs. Zimmerman and Dr. Mary Johnson, this is our star here. She is bringing this continuous education program, and I'm waiting for her to break that formula down that's in the book. And also, we're going to have a student. You know, many times, you know, you have a program, you know, and you wonder, how does it affect the person that's taking it, you know? And Mary's going to bring one of those projects, I would say, that was very successful from F to A. Hey, is that possible?
It's possible.
Mary knows. See you in a second. We got the #1 citizen in Prince George County here, and that's Floyd Wilson, former councilman. He's every businessman, everything. So don't go away now because you're going to miss something. See you in a second.
My daughter. Come here.
I love you, Dad.
Hi, welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And you know what? We have one of the #1 citizens here in Prince George County.
Yes.
Young man has paid his dues. You know, when you go into something and things happen, a lot of people take it for granted, you know. But it's individuals like this that Edwanda Larkin, the correspondent, has brought to Prince George's County and the YouTube. And none other than former councilman, chairman, Floyd Wilson. Now, you can't tell me you don't know him. I know you've seen him around, bopping around. You know, he's involved in First Baptist Church, still involved after.
Yes.
Floyd,
Yes.
how many years have you been in public service?
I first went in public service in 1969 as a member of the Glenarden Town Council and vice mayor.
You're going in 40 years. Edwanda, where did you find it?
Oh,
Working,
man.
I
Well,
bet.
working. Mr. Wilson is everywhere. We happen to attend the same church.
Yes.
I tend to always look to Mr. Wilson and his wife, Dot, whenever I have a question concerning something political that's happening here in Prince George's County.
Yes,
They're
yes.
always able to direct me and advise me.
What button to push, huh? What
Yeah.
phone to ring?
Yes, yes, he knows.
Now, Floyd,
Yes.
I mean, I know it. Most of us know it. Give us your background. I mean, we only have 2 seconds for you to do that.
All right. All right.
It's extensive.
Well,
That's why I want him to realize
I come
it.
from a little small city in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I came to Maryland in 1965. Got very active right there in the city of Glenarden, where I started in politics as a member of the city council and chairman of the vice mayor of the council. Then in '74, I moved to the political arena in Prince George's and became the first black on the county council.
Wow.
Having served there as chair and vice chair on several occasions. And in between all of that, I owned and operated 3 daycare centers right there in Prince George's with over 300 and some children.
Wow.
And also I've served on the Governor's Commission, Board of Election. I've served on COG as a member of the COG board. I've served on many, many boards. Even today, I'm working now with the Economic Development Corporation.
Right, very important.
And the Workforce Board, which deals with training and hiring of people right here in good old Prince George County.
Well, tell us, from that time, how the atmosphere in Prince George County has changed, and some of the things that changed it, and possibly way that we can continue to improve the county.
The county, way back when I started in '74, was very much racism, was very much alive. Matter of fact, I couldn't even buy a house in Bowie. I couldn't buy one in New Carrollton. Had to go to a designated area, and they said that would only be Glenarden. Realtors wouldn't even show me any other property. When I did move there, I found no daycare center for my children. And our thing was, as a teacher, let's start our own. So I started one, ended up with 300 some children.
Wow.
But back then, basically, we had no persons hardly in political
In the
arena.
political system.
No, none. But as a result of my being there, I think that encouraged other people to participate. And after me, of course, you had people like a Trotter and a Broadwater and others who have come along and changed things. Of course, today the demographics have in fact changed, where we are perhaps one of the richest and most black population on the globe, let alone in the state of Maryland. But we've gotten people involved. Of course, when we look at the county and look at how things are going, we find duplications in a lot of areas, as in education, as in public safety, as example, when you look at the school system. The school system is treated separately from the county government, so therefore they have their own procurement piece, and we have our own procurement. They have their own police. We have our own police. And this is duplicated in many instances, like park and planning, WSSC, COG, Metro. In many instances, you have this old process that we've been using all these years, and very slow for change. And that's what I think causes us as taxpayers a lot of money, because we could, in fact, save if we just simply change with the times. You see it all around us. Fairfax and Montgomery are two of the highest rated school systems in the United States. We are in the same environment, right here in the close proximity to the federal government. So why is it that we are still doing the same old thing with term limits and with trim and with many of the old-fashioned ideas that we just seem to be set in that there's no other way, and there is. But it takes the leadership, and it takes our citizens working together as a team in order to make those changes and to better our communities, if in fact we're going to do so.
What do you think that the solution to that would be? Educating the voters. To me, the voters don't seem to be educated like they used to be in the 60s. When there was a problem, it was a problem for everybody, and everybody got together. Now everybody is, I got mine.
You got yours to get.
yours.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that Prince George County has stepped away from. And one of the things that Prince George County had in your day and my day that made it prosperous. Most of the progress has been made was made in the 70s and the 80s by the council, park and planning, WSSC. People talk about the Sports and Learning Center, but you know that was done during your ministry. It was done, they talk about National Harbor. Port America was the first.
That's right, exactly. Jim
people
Lewis.
back there in the 60s and 70s, they realized the potential Prince George County, and they preserved it along the lines. So now the people are benefiting from it, but the voters now don't realize that you have to pay your dues. You have to volunteer. You have to get involved. Go to meetings. People don't look at that anymore.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, basically, I think it's the attitude. I guess many of us think that we have arrived, so if we have arrived, we can just take care of ourselves and not necessarily venture out to help others and give back to the community.
Right.
If you have the talent that the census and other documents have shown us, you have the talent here, but the talent is not being utilized to the fullest extent that I think it should be. Many of our children really don't have an appreciation for education.
No.
You have the problems of them shooting one another and disrespecting one another, not respecting your teachers and what have you. That should not be if you all this educated population, if you all of this, these other amenities that go with your population. And those are the kinds of things that have to change. You've got to be able to stay on top of what the issues are. You've got to be able to understand who your public officials are. You must hold them accountable. And if you don't, shame on you.
Well, the last word you say, accountability. I think the voters now are not accountable. And I try to pass on to them every decision that's a political decision that's made, it comes out of your pocket.
That's right.
Some people, I ask them about the education. Well, I don't have any children in school. So, hey, you ask them about a project that's being built in another section or something. Oh, I don't live down there. We want certain businesses here. I don't care. I go somewhere else anyway. How do you change that?
I think it's the system in itself has to be changed. That is, you must understand that you pay your taxes for the types of things that we as elected officials are doing. If we don't communicate and you don't know what I'm doing and I don't know what you're doing, there's a tendency I don't have that much of appreciation for what it is you want.
Right.
Therefore, you have schools that are inferior. You have those things that are hurting us. Unless we get ourselves together, we are not going to have the type of economic development that we need because they are interchangeable. You must have the education to support the economic development. If you don't have either one of them are weak. The tendency is that companies will go other places. Example also, when you look at your duplication in your license and permits, you got park and planning, you got the other subcommittees that you must go through, you have the zoning board, you have all of these different areas which are not necessarily used elsewhere. Let's look at best practices in other jurisdictions and perhaps maybe we can apply them. But doing things the same old way that we've been doing them since the 70s and what have you is not to our advantage.
Well, one thing you have to look at leadership in a way that, and a lot of people don't like this word, but I think one of the words that's very destructive as far as I'm concerned is good old boy network.
Yeah, well, there is that perception out here that in order to be in politics, you must accept under the table those types of things that are illegal.
Right.
That's not necessarily so.
No.
I was in government for a number of years. I never have, in fact, had to resort to those types of activities. So it's not everybody that's doing it. We have a few
right.
bad apples,
Sure.
which are in fact impacting our image. But that image can only be changed if we, as a people, change that. We cannot count on the President of the United States coming in here, the governor of the state doing this. We must do it ourselves and pass that on to our children.
Right.
You call
Because
it
that is the way, the proper way to do it.
Absolutely.
Is participation.
Yes.
Youngsters, they're not political oriented at all. You look at the exposure, everything that they have, and it's just nonchalant. They accept all the physical
mediocrity, yes.
positive that we have, the cars, the houses, and everything. That's automatic to them. But anyway, I want to thank you for being here. And Edwanda, you've done a terrific job. Mr. Wilson is a terrific example of dedication, of volunteer. Now, all the positions he had, he wasn't getting paid. A lot of positions, and this is what you have to take part in your government. You got to volunteer for something.
Yes.
See you next time.